So you run a business from home, and you have clients coming over. That very first moment they arrive, it is absolutely critical. And no, we're not just talking about putting out a welcome mat. We're talking about really transforming your home's entrance from just a door into a powerful business tool, something that sets the stage for success the second they step out of their car.
And this quote, wow, it just nails it. Think of a professional entryway like a perfectly tailored suit. It sends a clear message. It's all about projecting confidence and respect before you even say hello. It tells your client you're serious and you mean business.
So what does that actually look like? Well, on the one hand, you've got the all-too-common unprofessional arrival. Your client has to kind of sidestep a pile of shoes, maybe the family dog runs up, and they can still smell last night's garlic bread. But on the other hand, look at the professional arrival. There's a clear, dedicated path to a space that feels private and welcoming. And just like that, they're not visiting a house anymore. They have arrived at a business.
And that right there, that's the core concept behind all of this. It's called engineered separation. This is not about interior design. It's about consciously designing a space that operates totally independently from your personal life. The whole goal is to create that crucial mental shift, both for you and your client, from I'm in someone's home to I am in a professional office. So, how do we get there? Where do you even start? Well, that brings us to what's probably the most important phase, the pre-build feasibility study. This is all about doing your homework before you even think about picking up a hammer. And trust me on this part will save you from some very, very expensive headaches down the road.
Okay, here's your pre-build checklist, the 4 things you've absolutely got to look into. First, zoning. You have to check your local ordinances to make sure client visits are even allowed. Second, if you have one, your HOA. You need to pore over those covenants because they can be incredibly strict about new doors or walkways. Third, think about taxes. A separate entrance makes your home office deduction claims so much stronger. And finally, accessibility. Is the path safe? Could a client in a wheelchair easily get to your door?
All right, so once all that homework is out of the way, now we get to the fun part, crafting the client's journey. This is where we focus on the actual physical experience, and believe me, it starts the moment they park their car. You know, the enemy of professionalism is confusion. So a dedicated path is non-negotiable. It needs to be super obvious where to go. A great trick is to use different materials, like laying pavers over your asphalt driveway to create a clear visual cue. Make it at least 3 feet wide, keep it clear of any junk, and make sure the whole thing just looks intentional.
And let's talk about lighting, because it's doing double duty here. It's about safety, and it's a wayfinder. Especially for evening appointments, your business entry needs to be like a beacon. The pro tip here is to make it just a little bit brighter than the rest of your house. Use some nice downward-facing pathway lights so you're not blinding anybody, and put a quality sconce right by the door. It just says safe and welcome.
Now, the door itself, it sends a huge message. Think about it. That standard hollow core door that's in most homes, it feels light and flimsy. It offers terrible soundproofing, low security, but a solid core door, whether it's steel or fiberglass, that feels substantial. The weight of it, the solid thunk when it closes, it just communicates security, privacy, and professionalism without you saying a thing. And what's the finishing touch on the outside? Some tasteful signage. Now, we're not talking some huge, flashy sign here. No way. A small, simple plaque that just matches the style of your home is perfect. All it needs to do is give that client a final little nod of reassurance. Yep, you're in the right place. All right, so your client has made it to the door. They're impressed. Now what happens when they step inside? Let's move into that interior transition zone and focus on the little details that scream professional. I love this next concept. People call this space the airlock. And it is such a perfect analogy. You know, just like on a spaceship, it's a buffer zone. It's what stops the noise of the TV, the smell of dinner, and all the distractions of your home life from leaking into your business space. It is absolutely essential. Seriously, nothing shatters that professional vibe faster than hearing a barking dog or a crying baby in the next room. For real acoustic privacy, you gotta hit 3 things. Use sound dampening insulation in the walls. Install another solid core door, this one connecting to the rest of the house. And here's the clincher. Put weather stripping on that interior door. It seals up all those little sound leaks. Right inside the door, you need what's called a landing zone. We're not talking a full waiting room here, just a little 4 to 6 square foot area with a coat hook, maybe an umbrella stand, and a single chair. And the golden rule? It must be kept immaculately clean. It is 100% for the client. No mail, no gym bags, nothing. So, what about color? The psychology here is all about creating a calm, focused vibe. You're going to want the vast majority of your space, like 50%, to be in these really calming neutrals. Think grays and beiges. You can layer in some soft blues or a nice grayish, but see that little slice? Any bold accent color should be kept to a tiny pop, like 5%. This keeps the space feeling professional, not personal.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the what and the why, but I know what you're probably wondering. What about the practical stuff, the realities of a project like this? Let's jump into a quick Q&A and hit those top questions.
All right, let's just tackle the big one right off the bat, the one everybody wants to know. Does my home office absolutely need a separate entryway for tax purposes? And here's the deal. No, it is not strictly required. However, it makes your exclusive and regular use claim incredibly strong, and so much easier to prove if you ever get audited. Think of it as powerful physical proof for the IRS that your office is a real, separate place of business. Okay, question number 2, and it's the one everyone's thinking. What's this going to cost me? How much does it really cost to add a brand new exterior door? Generally, you're looking at a range of about $1,500 to $4,000. Now, that's for a standard installation in a typical wood-framed wall. Keep in mind, if you've got to cut through brick or stone, that cost is going to jump up pretty significantly. It's an investment, for sure, but one with a real, tangible return.
And the last big question is, okay, what if all this sounds great, but it's just a lot for right now? Can I get by just using my main front door for clients?
And the answer is, look, of course you can, but you have to know it's a compromise. You lose that engineered separation we've been talking about. It just blurs the line between home and work for you and for your client. So yeah, it can be a temporary fix, but the long-term goal should always be that separate professional entrance.
So let's wrap this all up with one final thought that I think just perfectly summarizes everything. A well-designed entryway is the firm handshake that greets every client before you even say a word. It builds trust and establishes respect right from the start.
So I'm going to leave you with one final, crucial question to really think about. Take an honest look at your own setup right now and ask yourself, what is my entryway really saying about my business?